Welcome back. Our next guest here in the O'Reilly booth is Andrew Berkowitz, Vice President of Product Development at TeamSnap. Andrew, thank you very much for being with us.
It's great to be here.
So can anybody be good at customer service, or does it take a certain personality type?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. Not everybody is perfectly suited for customer service. There are definitely people who are more empathetic, better at listening, even better with writing skills. But it's definitely something that everybody can get better at. I've talked to a lot of people this week who've said that they're having customer service problems within their own organization. And I think it's really investing the person who's doing customer service in feeling what the customer is asking for. You've probably had experiences where you've tried to contact a company for help and you just get the feeling that the person on the other end doesn't care. And I think company-wide, any company can invest the people who are doing customer service in understanding why it's important for the entire customer service mission to work, why it's important to listen to the customer.
So what are the most common customer service mistakes that startups make?
I'd say there's two main ones they make. The number one mistake that they make is not actually making it easy for real people to talk to the customers or for the customers to talk to real people. It's people who design startups and especially web applications are very excited about using technology solutions for customer service, forums, message boards, ways for customers to talk to each other online. Those are great to a point, but customers, what they really want to do is they really want to talk to a real person. And so from day one, a startup should have real people on the other end who are answering the emails in person in a personal way. And when you do that, you get customers who are passionate about your product. I mean, think about how many times you've written to a company and you just get no response, or you just get a form note back. When you actually are able to get a real person on the other end who listens to you, they empathize with you, they say that they hear you, it makes a huge difference.
Right. The bar is already set so low that if you do the right thing.
We get at our company, we get so many people who write us an angry email because that's how they've learned they can only get heard by a company if they have something really, if they're angry. Yeah. And then we write them back, a real person writes them back and says, hey, we hear you, we sympathize with your problem, here's what we're going to do about it. And suddenly they become customers for life because they realize that we're not this monolithic company where nobody listens to you, but there are actually real people on the other end listening.
Right. So switching gears a little bit.
Sure.
So actually switching gears a lot.
All right.
How does improv apply to a company's team building?
It's a great question. I'm going to bust you a little bit because what the people watching this may not know is you actually sent me the list of questions ahead of time.
I did. So this is not improvisation.
This is not improvisational, but I think this is a great example, as so many companies script everything. They have their policy and their procedure manuals, how everything's supposed to work. They think they can plan out everything that's going to happen to make their company succeed. And the bottom line is that everything we do in life and everything we do in business is improvised. We're all making it up as we go along. So in improv training, what we teach people to do is basically to just be able to move without that safety net of knowing what came ahead of time. Improv teaches you to think on your feet, to work together as a team and a group. And it can be amazing for companies. We did our session yesterday on building a better team through improv, where we took a group of about 35 people who had literally just met for the first time at OSCON, didn't know each other, were very nervous and tentative when it started, and through doing just games and exercises where they interact, they learn to say yes, they learn to share and accept. By the end of the session, they were working together on doing some amazing things.
So in the improv world, there's this phrase, yes and, right? What is that and how does it apply to business?
Well, when you're doing an improv scene, the number one rule we use is say yes, because if you don't say yes, your scene's going to grind to a halt. And that is exactly what works in the business world. You teach people to say yes, to not judge ideas immediately, but to let all the ideas get out onto the table. And you can build amazing things where everybody's first instinct is to say yes. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to actually go and implement every crazy idea that comes down the pipe. So, you're not going to ship a product that has, a SCSI port, because that's 20 years old, even if somebody throws that out as an idea.
That would require improv, yeah.
I'm sure you've been in meetings where everything just grinds to a halt because as soon as somebody throws out an idea, everybody goes, no, that couldn't work, and suddenly you're not accomplishing anything. So what we teach people to do is get all the ideas onto the table. Just throw them out without judging them, without worrying whether they're going to work. Say yes, 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 get everything going, and that enables everybody to have their say and to get good information out there, and then you can evaluate what's going to work and what's not going to work. But it really, just saying yes is so amazingly powerful if you enable your company to do that, rather than having everybody say, no, let's think about it, let's be very careful. It's an amazing tool.
So last question for
Sure.
you. How do you get past the cultural judging that might happen? You know, you're talking about everything's on the table. Don't judge it. How do you imbue that in your company?
That's a great question. Obviously, you can take an improv class, or you can hire improv trainers to come in and sort of give you some techniques that work. I think it really comes from the top, and I would encourage anybody who manages a work group, runs a company, is a boss. Don't be Michael Scott from The Office, but start at the top. And if you yourself as a manager can have that yes attitude, that yes, bring it to me, we're going to look at that, we're going to be positive, we're going to try to take ideas and add on to them and make them better rather than shooting them down, I think that really trickles down into the whole company, because essentially people just end up doing whatever the leaders do.
Right. Well, thanks so much for being with us.
It's
Really
my pleasure.
appreciate it.